morning, students. After summer vacations, now welcome back to the studies. So today we are going to start the new chapter of history, that is chapter number 3, the colonial administration. In this chapter, we studied about the administrative structure of colonial India, as you see in these points. The second point is about the various acts of charters passed by the British, and the next about the organization of Indian civil services, army, police and judiciary. And the last point is how the British excluded Indians from higher posts in the civil services. So students, in this chapter we studied about that. In this chapter, we will learn more about the administrative machinery of the colonial state in India. So, let me come to the first point. The first point is early administrative structure. So, students, basically अगर हम पिछले chapters की तरफ चले तो we came to know this thing कि finally Britishers they settled their colonies in India. Their main intention was only profit making. See, their main intention was only profit making. People's welfare of India was never their concern. So the Britishers, this time they are totally thinking about themselves. Okay, they wanted to settle their colonies in India. To settle their colonies in India, the Britishers, they enacted various acts from time to time in order to regulate the authority of various officials of East India Company. So, we just look into the first act, that is called the Regulating Act of 1773. So, students, now I am telling you about the Regulating Act of 1773. Regulating Act was passed in the British Parliament in June 1773. It was the first parliamentary rectification and authorization defining the powers and authorities of the East India Company with respect to its Indian possessions. The Act of 1773 recognized the political functions of the company because it assisted for the first time right of the parliamentary to dictate the form of government. It was the first attempt of British government to centralize their administrative machinery in India. So here are some important points are given over there. अगर आप बुक में पढ़ेंगे तो रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट ओवरऑल आपको काफ़ी अच्छे से समझ में आएगा. As we am telling you something about this thing, the regulating act, however, failed to regulate the activities of East India Company and the powers of the Governor General. According to this act, the powers were divided between the Governor General and the Cabinet Ministry. But ये जो act था ये successful नहीं हुआ because in this act the East India Company, the Governor General and their powers were not clearly defined properly. That's why this act was not successful. Now let's come to the next topic, which is called the next act, the Pitt's India Act of 1784. To rectify some shortcomings in the Regulating Act of 1773, the Pitt's India Act was passed in the year 1784. So students, अब ध्यान से सुनेगा. I'm telling you something important about the Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act was an act of the Parliament of Great Britain intended to address the shortcomings of the Regulating Act of 1773 by bringing the East India Company's rule in under the control of the British government. Now let's come to a very important topic, which is called the Charter Act. Now students, listen to it very carefully. I am telling you something important about the Charter Act. See, the St. Helena, it is also called the St. Helena Act of 1883 or the Government of India Act of 1883. It was an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom, as this act was also intended to provide for an extension of the royal charter granted to the East India Company. It is also called the Charter Act of 1883. This act extended the charter by 20 years. Now listen students, the main feature of the Charter Act is not mentioned in this chapter. Now I'm going to tell you. See, the main feature of this Charter Act was it made the Governor General of Bengal as the Governor General of India and vested in him all the civil and military powers. Thus, the Act create for the first time a government of India having authority over the entire territory area passed by the British India. That is the main importance of the Charter Act. Now it's enough for today. Rest of the chapter we will complete it by tomorrow.